What is up, guys? Today is my platinum review of Kuro no Kiseki, and just let you guys know, this is my continuation of my review, or an updated version of it per se. Once again, the last review I did was only up to Chapter 5 to give you guys initial impressions of the game. Now that I have the Platinum Trophy and over 100 hours and finishing everything in the game, here's my full-on opinions of the game. And to get this started, we're going to talk about we're playing this game on the latest update. We're at 60 frames per second with all the DLC out. And you guys by now know my stance on the DLC, on all DLCs in most of these games. I don't understand why they don't just push out the DLC immediately. It's just costumes. For Christ's sake, just just give it to the game immediately. Let us have and purchase the DLC from day one. I don't understand how that extends gameplay time for the game when it's just costumes. But regardless to say, the biggest issue I think I have with the 60 frames per second update is why was this not introduced earlier? The 60 frames per second update gave the game 60 frames per second, so it makes everything smoother, it makes it run better, and it comes with a lot of bug fixes, and it also comes with the ability to skip your own S-crafts and master arts animations. It does not allow you to skip your opponent's S-crafts or master art animations, and you can only skip those two type of things. So that will come into play in once again in my battle review section of this review. But honestly, Niham, like heart to heart here. If you were gonna come out a couple weeks after the game releases with a 60 FPS update, literally I would rather have you just delayed the game and told everybody, hey, we're gonna we're gonna delay it for 2 weeks. We're gonna give everyone 60 FPS. Because literally it is night and day playing this game at 30 FPS versus 60 FPS. And the 30 FPS, the 60 FPS update isn't locked to PS5. It's for the PS4 as well too. So once again, I'm not sure why they waited on that. I'm sure there is a reason, but just delay the game. Just delay the game and people will understand. So we're going to go into our review of the nitty bitty gritties of this. So like I said last time, we reviewed it up to chapter 5, and I said the story is kind of ramping up to this point. I've been really liking it. The story and the main characters, all the characters, even Van himself, are incredibly fun to play and just to experience. And that continues with chapter 5. Chapter 5 feels like the pinnacle of what the game is trying to do with the LGC, the Law Gray Chaos meters, and it puts into question like, will choice matter in the future? Because in chapter 5 you're allowed to choose a faction to join for that level to help you out. So once again, you can choose either the guild, Huawei, or the Kurotsuchi guys, aka Rexia Mao and Zhao Ikagura or Ouroboros, to team up with you during that chapter. Once again, phenomenal chapter. And then once after that, after chapter 5, you have your final chapter, which does feel like honestly the end of a series with how will they put it together. But there is a to be continued tag when the credits roll. The story is easily my most favorite, and this is like it hurts me knowing that this game is maybe 3 to 4 years out to come out in English for players that don't play, that want to play the Japanese version of the game and want to wait. It pains me to know that this game will not be out. I'm pleading to Nihon, give somebody else the rights to translate this game. Like, to wait to 2023 for Hajimari no Kiseki to come out, which I'm trying to figure out where that source is, where everyone's saying it's 2023 for Hajimari no Kiseki. I don't doubt 2023 at this point, but I don't know where that source is coming from, where everyone's saying that it's coming out in 2023. But if that's the timetable, you're looking at maybe 1 or 2 more years after that, even maybe longer for Kuro no Kiseki to come out translated for players. And it is a little bit of a tragedy because we don't even know if next year we're going to get an update to this game as well too. We're going to get like Kuro no Kiseki 2. I feel like this is probably one of the highest points in the series that it has ever been. I am loving Kuro no Kiseki. 100% would suggest playing this. 100%. The story is amazing. Character development and the characters themselves are so lovable. So, I mean, that is the highest point of the game to me is the story, and we're gonna go take it a little bit of a step back with gameplay wise, and nothing has really changed too much from the quest, the mini stuff, adventure, the stuff. Nothing has really changed from my initial review. It is there. It's there to push the story along, and it fits with the theme of the game. What once again, it comes down to the actual battling of the game that is really it has a lot of people in a mixed feelings about how they view the game. And when you go over the Reddit, look at other people's opinions. We're all kind of in the same spot. The out of combat feels really clunky. It doesn't get any better. It feels better in 60 FPS than anything, but you still have the same fundamental problems where it's just clunky. There's so many animation clips, especially with the regular models of the game. They're all clips. You don't know what the hitbox, the hurt boxes, or some sort of things are, so you have to play a little bit more cautious. It doesn't. The game doesn't get any better when playing on Nightmare in the out of combat mode. So once again, everything comes back into what is the turn-based combat like, and everyone still has the same arguments that I've had. The item nerfs, the nerfs to delay were understandable. It still stings a little bit, but the ultimate thing was not being able to rearrange your order and get different bonuses if you go on an S-craft break and break order to gain an extra CP or any of that. It's a little bit irritating. But what it ultimately comes down to is Kuro no Kiseki, that it is a Tales of game that we still love, we still play. It's still a great combat. Still has great combat, great fluidity. Once you get toward end game, you get a lot more options. You can still be defensive. Once again, once Van gets the ability to use Grendel form in specific fights, those fights become honestly almost a cakewalk. What really ties it together, and I didn't experiment this till my second playthrough of the game, was the drive system right here. This shard system over here is probably the best part of this game with when you interact with combat. Now all these jewels over here actually mean something in the game. They mean massively. They mean a lot. It's not just stats or extra abilities, but getting these into a specific configuration in order to get points toward a shard ability system is one of the most important things in this game, and it's very, very important. So I highly suggest players delve into this part of the game for combat because you're gonna need it because it gives you major edges in battle. So once again I love the combat in. I mean, I understand with certain nerfs to the game. I understand that, but this is what really made the combat, especially on Nightmare, very enjoyable to as like a puzzle to get squeeze every single extra piece of damage you can in the game. So once again, guys, overall, easily my favorite Tales of game. I mean, not Tales of game. I'm sorry, Legend of the Heroes game to date. I think it does rival CS1 for me and CS3 for me. But once again, with that, thank you all for watching. Peace out.